Hello again. I'm Colton McDaniel with the Springfield Christians. We begin today in Philippians chapter 3 and verse 7. Paul has just reminded these Christians about his status in Judaism. And if salvation were based off of ethnicity and status, Paul would be at the head of the line in heaven. But salvation is not based on those things, but it is based on a relationship with God. And so Paul looks at his former status in Judaism and considers it as nothing. Notice what he says here. But whatever gain I had, I counted as loss for the sake of Christ. Indeed, I count everything as loss because of the surpassing worth of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord. What he once had means nothing to him now in comparison to being close with Jesus. Any status that he had attained, he calls rubbish. It's garbage, it's trash, it's the stuff you pick off the bottom of your shoe. And that's how we ought to see our former life before we understood the truth of the gospel. It's nothing to us in comparison to having a relationship with God. The Jews thought they were saved based on the merit of them being a Jew and following the law of Moses. But Paul says this is as ridiculous, if not as demeaning, as saying that I'm saved because I'm white or I'm an American. No, we are saved based on the fact that we believe in Jesus. But as we talked about last week, true belief is going to include working. So it is an obedient faith that we have that brings us to salvation. And this is all that we may draw closer to Jesus, even to the point of persecution. Paul says that it is that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being conformed to his death, if by any means I may attain to the resurrection from the dead. Like Christ, those who are obedient even to the point of death will be exalted. We are Springfield Christians. Thank you for joining us today, and may God bless you richly.